So I just got to the Mount of Olives, where we have an amazing view over the Jewish cemetery and the old city of Jerusalem. Over there you can see the Golden Dome, Dome of the Rock, also known as Temple Mount. You can see the walls of the old city of Jerusalem. You can see as well the Palm Sunday path. We'll be talking about this a little bit later. You'll be able also to see the Kidron Valley, the valley that separates between the Mount of Olives and the old city of Jerusalem. We're right now about 2,500 feet above sea level. The Mount of Olives separates, or you can say serves as the border between the Judean wilderness, or the desert of the preparation, and the city of Jerusalem. Area over there with the trees is known as Mount Corruption, because as we all know, King Solomon had 1,000 wives, and he built altars for his foreign wives on the Mount of Olives. During the Byzantine era, there were approximately about 24 churches on the Mount of Olives. Today we have the Dominus Flevit, the Church of the Lord Wept, the Church of Mary Magdalene with the golden onion domes, typical Russian church, and at the foot of the Mount of Olives we have the Church of All Nations, also known as the Church of Gethsemane and the Gardens of Gethsemane. In the valley we have the Church of St. Stephen, the first martyr. So the importance of this cemetery goes back to a verse in the book of Zechariah chapter 14. The verse says, "Then the Lord will go out and battle against those nations, as he fights on a day of battle. On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. And the Mount of Olives will be split into two, from east to west, forming a great valley, with half of the mountain moving north and half moving south." So those who are buried here want to be the first to rise with the Messiah. You can look at them as seeds, as planted seeds, waiting for the rain of the end of days. If you notice, there are holes in the tombs. Those are for candles. Jews are buried below the ground. I get this question often when I'm doing tours. In the book of Genesis we read that I made you from dust, and unto dust you shall go. Jews don't put flowers on tombstones, as common in a lot of countries all around the world. They put instead a rock. Rocks, there are a lot of definition, like a lot of options why they do put rocks. One of them is the affiliation between family members. Every time a Jewish person comes to visit the cemetery, he takes a rock and put it on the tombstone. The tombstone has the name, the date of birth, and the date of death. Next to some tombs you'll be able as well, when you come and visit Jerusalem, to see Bibles for those who come to visit, to be able to sit for a while and read a couple of verses of the Bible. Around 150,000 people are buried here. Some tombs even date back to the time of Jesus, to the Second Temple period, and those tombs are located in the Kidron Valley. So this is the Palm Sunday path. This is where Jesus rode the donkey on his triumphal entry to Jerusalem. The donkey, by the way, was brought from the area of Beit Phage, one of two towns that were located on the Mount of Olives back in the time of Jesus. The second town on the Mount of Olives is known as Bethany, the favorite town of refuge to Jesus Christ, where he had his friends Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. On the Mount of Olives today you don't see a lot of olive trees. We know from Josephus Flavius that the 10th Legion during the Great Revolt camped on the Mount of Olives, and Titus burned and cut down most of the trees, not all of them. On this side we're having the Jewish cemetery. On the other side, next to the old city walls, we're having the Muslim cemetery. And in between, as I said before, we have the Kidron Valley. And down in the Kidron Valley, we have Siloam, Siloam, or the city of David back then. That's where everything started. That was the city of Jerusalem 3,000 years ago. And the reason people lived down in the valley, even though it's not very strategic, is water. Jesus performed one of his miracles in Jerusalem by the pools of Siloam. Another time about the importance of the Mount of Olives. For Jews, the Messiah will descend to the mountain on Judgment Day, and that's why they wanted to be buried here. There are more than 150,000 people buried on the Mount of Olives. King David fled from his son through the Mount of Olives. Jesus knew it very well. He went down the mountain on his triumphal entry to Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, and on the way he stopped and wept over the city, as mentioned in the book of Luke chapter 19 verse 29. And he prophesied the destruction of the city. His prophecy was fulfilled 40 years later. In the year 70 AD, the Romans destroyed the city, and everything you see in front of you right now was not the same back in the time of Jesus. He foretold his second coming in the book of Matthew chapter 24. He prayed here the night before he was arrested, and even performed his last miracle before crucifixion in the gardens of Gethsemane. He ascended from here to heaven, as mentioned in the book of Acts chapter 1.